What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Wars, and thank you so much for joining me on this Thursday live stream, my friends. So today I have in store, we're going to be looking at a market outlook. I have a lot of different setups prepared for you guys, Fibonacci setups, of course. We're going to go through the open positions, what to expect, the risk, the reward, everything. And I'm also going to be doing a lifetime Discord giveaway today. I'd love to pick somebody from the chat. So please make sure you try to stay tuned all the way to the end and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and drop a like. Okay, so we're going to start off with Tesla. All right. So I'm here on the Tesla chart, and I'm going to start off with the original entry that I posted on X, Tradingview, and YouTube. Okay, so I also post setups on Tradingview. So we had our original entry at 329.36. At 329.36, I entered into these calls right here. Okay, so the March 21st, 2025, 400 calls. I bought two of those calls at $5,202 in total. And this was my peak. Okay, so back when Tesla was at the high, this was 488.54. I went to a high of 111.50. So basically 5,202 to 22,349. Currently, I gave back about 5K on this pullback, and I'm only at 17,930, but nonetheless close to 250% return. So I'm very still happy with that. And my line in the sand really for Tesla is if Tesla can start to close below 400s, like it starts to get back really deep, that'll be a sign for me to possibly just exit this position and take hopefully 100% return. But I have all the way into March with these. And now we have a new setup on the daily chart here. This is a fair value gap setup. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through this setup. Okay. So we had our established low on Monday, and then we had the holiday trading Tuesday, which was actually a half day. And on that day, Tesla actually ran 7%, okay, which is pretty crazy. And then from there, today we had this little bit of a consolidation candle pullback, and we create this fair value gap. So let me just go ahead and delete this box. So this fair value gap, guys, this is an open gap on Tesla. And these open gaps, you can see we previously had one over here. They tend to fill, especially if we're looking for some type of dip buying opportunity. And let's go ahead right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Fibonacci tool, and I'm going to take it from low to high. Okay, let's go ahead and full screen again. And the high today was 465.33. What's going on, Candice, Dr. D, Navin? So we have 465.33. So we'll go ahead and put that in. And the low, 415.41. Okay. And let's go ahead here and let's just turn this into the basic 618. Okay, so here we go. So our basic 618 is lining up right with this completion of this fair value gap, 434.48. Okay, what's going on, Raj? So right here, what I'm looking at right now, guys, is this open fair value gap. If we start to pull back, that'll be a total drop of about 6%, okay, into the 618 Fibonacci. That 6% drop lines up with what I like to do with fibs. What I like to do is anytime I get a 5 to 10% pullback plus on big names, we're talking about Tesla, Amazon, blue chips, Magnificent Seven, okay, all of those type of stocks, I love to buy the dip because it gives me a good risk to reward ratio. Okay, so for example, with these calls, right, this is a great example. At my peak, I'm up 330%. Right now, I'm up. Let's get the other screenshot in here. 1 second here, guys. So right now, I'm up 244%. So let's do the math behind that for a second. Okay, so if let's say we risk 50%. Okay, so it all depends on what's going on, Jim, what's going on, Otis. It all depends on how much you want to risk. Okay, let's just say we want to risk 50% of the premium. Okay, so if we're risking 50% to make 100%, we'll keep it very simple. We're risking 50% of the premium to make 100%. Okay, then that's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. With a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, for every 10 trades, you only need to win 4 out of 10 trades. Okay, so over time on 100 trades, you only need to win 34 out of 100 to make a profit. Okay. Obviously, commissions and all those things can factor in. We're just looking at raw numbers, right? So make sure you guys have a broker that's not ripping you off in commissions. That's why I use interactive brokers, low commissions and fast fills. I have the links below if you guys are interested. So the key is always manage your risk to reward. And when I get a play like Tesla here, and we get a big win like this can pay for future trades. Okay. So hit me with a 4 if that makes sense. That's so risk to reward is always key. So on this setup here, guys, we're going to be watching very closely to see what's going to happen at the 434.48 if we pull back. There is a potential that we go straight through the roof. Okay. And then my target is 499.92. This is the 2.618 Fibonacci extension, and this is going to line up with our original entry, 329.36. This is going to be the 2.618 extension, so 499.92, all right? And that's where I'm going to have to make some serious decisions on what I want to do with this position. I might exercise it all into shares when we reach that level. If we do soon. What's going on, Raj? Kevin, what's going on, brother? Trading Wars Army. Johnny, good to see you. Spy, Chantel. Yeah, so we're going to see. I love to take profitable options if I want to hold these things long-term and convert them into shares. Okay. All right. So there is Tesla. All right. Hit me with a 10 if that makes sense. Let me know. Do you guys have any questions about Tesla? And by the way, right now I'm doing a holiday sale, $100 lifetime access to my Discord for my stocks trades. Okay. So tomorrow I'm going to be going live. So right here, live stream Thursday, Friday. We went live this morning. I'll be live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And you'll have access to this channel for life. These are all my plays, step by step, my positions. I post the charts when I enter, what contracts I'm using, the stop loss, all of that is posted here. If you guys want to take advantage of that, go to tradingwars.com, right? Click on stock options trading. You'll see my book comes with 1 month for free. Normally for the holidays, we're going to extend that to lifetime access for $100, plus you'll get the book. Okay. So take advantage of that. If you want to come trade with me live, I'll be live at the open tomorrow and I'll let you know on what positions I'm going to be taking. All right. If you, but if not, just support, drop a like, and these setups, you can take them by yourself for sure. Okay. Okay. So we're going to move on here and we're going to go to Nvidia. Okay. We're going to hit the full screen here and we're going to look at this. So Nvidia, guys, we've been watching Nvidia for a few weeks now. We had this level mapped out. So this right here is 129.56. So what I'm going to do here I'm going to talk to you guys about the pattern, why I took it, and the open position. So right now I have the January 15, 2027 calls, 2027. Okay, that's 2 years. Okay, 130 calls. I'm up 17%. I put in 4,101. At the close, we're at 4,795. And this 618 entry, 129.56. I also shared this on Tradingview and Twitter, all platforms. Okay. The only main difference of coming in Discord is just getting it live and me telling you exactly what I'm doing if that's what you want. Okay. So from here, 129.56, let's look at this percentage pullback on Nvidia. What is that? That is a 15% drop. Okay. The last time I took a play like that on Nvidia was back here in September. Okay. So on 6th of September, we entered a similar setup, Fibonacci low to high. Here's our 618. I got the 107 calls and I converted those calls into shares. They were up about 200%. And I own 100 shares now of Nvidia. Plus I have these leaps here. Okay. So with Nvidia and with names that are a lot more volatile, what we tend to see is bigger drops, 10, 20, almost sometimes 25%. Okay. And with those drops, those are the opportunities I look for. I'm very, very patient and waiting for the best possible setups. And you can see here, we held this 129.56 multiple times and we had a very, very nice pop. Okay. So my longer term picture, bigger picture, target here, 160, 170. I have until 2027. I'm extremely happy with that. So now what we're going to do here is we're just going to quickly talk about the pattern. Okay. So for those of you that are new, you probably don't know much about fibs. And I use the particular Fibonacci pattern. I like to call it the dragon, which is multiple legs of Fibonacci. All right. So we have our Fibonacci tool here. Okay. And what I'm going to do here let's actually just go to a chart here. So let's use this one. So this was the last buy we had on Nvidia. Okay. So what I would love to see is a pullback and a new high. That's all you got to remember. So we need to see a pullback and new high. Okay. So the Fibonacci leg that we entered was using this low to high. This was the previous big Nvidia play we had, 106. It was 106.19. Let's go ahead and let's just adjust this to be the exact number. So this is going to be a low of 90.69 and a high of 131.26. Okay, so boom, there we go. So here we go, 106.19. I have that number memorized because I did spaces every single week talking about this number. So it's just imprinted in my head now. So we could see here, this is a clear 618 pullback, 106.19. But why did I use these anchor points? Does anybody know? Put it in the chat. Why would I use this high and this low? Does anybody know? Okay, this is a particular pattern. It's an ABCD pattern. Okay, cipher pattern, Fibonacci harmonics, etc. There's different names for it, but essentially what it is here, guys, I'm going to use this tool here. Starting from this low, 90.69, we made a high, we pulled back, we made a new high, and then we finished on the 618. So this pattern right here, this is a advanced Fibonacci pattern. And the reason why I was able to come up with that pattern is by first doing some investigation on this pullback. So this pullback right here, the low was 97.52. I did not buy this pullback. I watched this pullback. I'll come off of this low to high. Do you guys see this? Do you guys see this exact 618 Fibonacci right there? Hit me with the 3 if you see that. So once, let's zoom in a little bit here. Once I see this wick and I see that we hold a 618, now I'm confident in my particular setup that this pattern is not just me looking at it. Okay, I believe there's other institutions and algorithms looking at the same level. So what I do from there is I use the new high. So here's the new high all the way up here. And I use the same low anchor to the new high before the pullback. And then I enter on the 618 pullback. And this percentage drop was approximately 20%. And I love doing this on the daily and the 4-hour chart because it's going to give me a good percentage pullback on the stock. Therefore, when I enter, I know I'm entering the trade and my max risk, let's say 50% of the premium, or let's say the full premium, but I know that I'm going to be relatively better off because I bought the calls down here after a 20% drop than buying the calls at the high. Okay, hit me with a 4 if that makes sense. So it's very important especially if you're going to trade options. You need to understand that exactly, Otis, we're on sale. You got to understand, and when we're going up, not only do you have to look at the Greeks, okay, the implied move. So when we're coming down, I feel like I'm getting a way better deal on the calls. Okay. So for Nvidia, so this is my game plan right here. I'm just holding this one play right now. Potential next Fibonacci pullback. If we come off of this low to high, we're looking right around the 130 to 135 area. So if we could pull back down here, that's when I'm going to be potentially looking to add more. Okay. So next, the next one I want to talk about is futures, ES, SPX. Okay. So these are my open positions on the S&P 500. So I have some short-term and some longer-term calls. And I also have SPX. Okay. SPX. I'm up about 80% on those calls expiring January 17th. Okay. So I got the 6,000 calls on these. So if you guys remember, if you guys were trading last week, on the 18th of December, we had FOMC. Okay. So let's go to the 4-hour chart. Okay. So this was the FOMC drop. So the market pulled back on this drop. Okay. Over 250 points, which is a historic drop really for the market. That's a lot of points. Okay. When I see those type of drops, we're going to line up with a Fibonacci. Okay. So in this case, I wasn't able to get the exact bottom, but right around here in the 5900s, the low, I bought SPX calls. All right. And the ones that I just showed you guys. And if you guys don't know, you can buy SPX outside of regular trading hours using interactive brokers. Okay, I use that. That's one of the edges that I have. For me personally, if I see something happening overnight and I want to get in before the open, in case the open gaps up, I go ahead and I get like SPX. So I entered that, and I also have some SPY swing trades as well. Okay, so what I wanted to mention here is my vision for this is new all-time highs. However, there is a roadblock. If I go from the Fibonacci on the daily from the all-time high to the FOMC drop, we're sitting right on the 618 and kind of hugging it right now. And let's go ahead. Let's put on the full Fibonacci right here. You can see we're in between the 618 and the 786. And as soon as we entered into this area, and it's also a fair value gap, okay? We entered in this area, we didn't break right through. We're starting to go sideways a little bit here. So I'm really actually watching this here for some weakness for a potential short setup, because it's not that much to risk off of the all-time high. I could take some of my gains on these longs here and roll it into potentially puts, because I also have like Tesla and Nvidia. I showed you guys. I also have a bunch of shares in different companies like Amazon and Microsoft. So I want to be able to be protected the best that I can. So I'm watching this chart for weakness. I'm going to look at the open tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. And like I said, you guys can get the lifetime Discord deal for $100 and come trade with me tomorrow if you want. I'm watching to see that weakness. If I see that candle confirmation, that's going to give me an opportunity to take that short play. Okay. Hit me with the 10 if that makes sense. All right. So let's just do rapid fire here. So Microsoft, I still have this trade open here, the 618, 424.90. I'm waiting to see if we can pull back to that level before adding any new positions here. But you could see our last buy was right here on Microsoft, coming off of this swing low to high. Our last buy right here, guys, 407.30. Okay. And I just want to show you, I forgot to show you guys this. All of these plays are called out here. Okay. And I just want to make sure you guys know that, I post all my positions, whether I win or lose. I try my best to just have the courage to come on here and show you guys everything. I've been on a good winning streak, and I'm very proud of it. But things can change overnight in the market, and I've seen that many, many times. So, just be careful, and that's why I'm always trying to think about what's the next hedge that I can take. Okay, so let's continue. Amazon. So Amazon, our last 618 Fibonacci right here. What's going on, Sand? Thanks for joining. Welcome to the Trading Wars Army, my friend. So right here on Amazon, our last 618 was 222.34. You can actually see here that we came a little bit deeper into the 786. The 786 is another key Fibonacci level. It's not my primary level, because sometimes I notice with the 786 Fibonacci that we don't get here. A lot of times we stop at the 618, and I don't want to have FOMO, so I always go in with the 618. You can always add on the 786. Your maximum risk would be the swing low. I love to look for additions as well. Okay. Thanks for your help setting me up in Discord. Thank you. What's going on, Alpha, brother? All right. So if we look at the daily chart, we actually have a very nice inside bar. And I just posted on YouTube, on my top picks, I just posted an Amazon setup. Just go to the community tab, guys. I just posted my top setup for Amazon. Let me just show, let me take a second to show you guys this real quick. So if you're subscribed to me, you're going to get daily picks as well. These are the daily picks that I post are not Fibonacci. They are my inside bar scanner. Okay. So I love to scan for inside and outside bars. It's, one of my go-to strategies, and I love to align it with Fibonacci. Okay. So here we go. If you're subscribed here, guys, you will be getting this. Okay. So don't forget to go to the community tab, and I just posted, these are the stock picks for tomorrow. So these are quick day trades mostly. Okay. Quick day trades. You guys can get access to that. And if you're a member, it's going to come with a bonus. It's going to have the stop loss, and it's going to have the targets for you as well. So if you guys want, just subscribe, you'll have access to that. Okay. So members, it's $4.99 if you want to join, and you get these extra stop loss and target and other member giveaways. Okay. Somebody in this chat right now is going to get lifetime Discord giveaway. So thank you so much for giving me your time. Let's continue. Google, I have leaps on. Let's go ahead and let's find those leaps. So right here, let's find these Google leaps. Where are you? So right here, we have the January 15, 2027, 170 calls as well. So at the time of the post, I was up 60%. Those have pulled back a little bit right now. 3,457 invested, market value 5,539. But my bigger picture, Google is also similar to Nvidia. I believe Google has a potential to be a leader in the market. And what we're looking at here, measured move extension 220, 221, 222. That's what I'm looking for right here. So nice, beautiful Fibonacci pullback on Google. You could see that this one came in on Friday. We actually tagged the 786 and 618. So what I ran into here, guys, was I didn't feel comfortable adding more positions on because my whole portfolio was long. Okay. So I didn't add more on these 618, 786. I shared these plays. I just kept the leaps that I had because my whole portfolio is long and I don't want to put too much exposure in the same name. Okay. But these 618 dip buys, these 786, these micro pullbacks here, you guys can always take positions on these fibs and just risk accordingly. Okay. And make sure you manage your risk. All right. So let's continue. So the NASDAQ. Okay. So what we're going to do for the NASDAQ is we're going to look at the Qs. So I posted this last week. So the swing low, 15th of November to the high of the 16th of December, we tagged the 618 Fibonacci, guys. We tagged the 618 Fibonacci on the NASDAQ and we just ripped right up. So the NASDAQ really showing a lot of Fibonacci confluence. Okay. And this play right here, the way that I'm in the NASDAQ is through tech. Okay. So through Amazon, Microsoft, Google, etc. I'm not taking any plays on the Qs, but you can definitely do Qs options if you want. I usually do SPY mainly because, like I said, I already have tech in individual names, but just a beautiful 618 setup. Okay. So remember with the 618, right? Let's get the measuring tool out. So if you go long on the 618, your maximum risk should be this swing low. Okay. That's generally what I tell new traders, just risk the swing low. Getting back to a new high is 1.58. And then you got your 2 times. 2 times is a good sweet spot right there. As you continue to trade, you see that I've developed many, many different Fibonacci's and many different just variations, that things that go through my mind, things I create. And I have different levels, custom levels. One of the tightest stop losses that I can use is the 710. It's not a Fibonacci level. It's just a number that I've been testing, that I've been putting in hours of trying to work on these numbers. But this is the tightest I probably go is the 710. Now we can start to see, what risk reward really looks like here. Now going to a new high, we're looking at 7, 8 times. What does that mean? Let's say we're risking $1,000 a pop on a trade. That's $8,000. That's $9,000, etc. And I'm finding the sweet spot between having a wide stop loss and a tight stop loss. Tight stop loss. Let's say you risk $1,000 and this is your stop loss right here on options. Let's say this pullback here, maybe you lose 10%, 15%, right? And then on this pullback all the way down, you might lose 50, 60% of the premiums. So the key is what we're trying to do is we're just trying to achieve that 2-to-1 risk reward minimum on average, 2-to-1 risk reward. 2-to-1 risk reward for every 10, we need to win 4 out of 10 trades to make a profit. Okay. All right. So hit me with the 3 if you're following me. Everything makes sense. AMD. So AMD, I continue to blacklist AMD from my trades. AMD, my beautiful play on AMD was the same time as Nvidia, 9th of September. Went long right in the 135 area, and I covered my position. I actually converted into shares, and I've never seen such a historic drop in a long time, from 173 all the way to a low of 117 in such a short amount of time. We're looking at AMD. This drop right here, my friends, 30%. So 31%, guys, in 90. Let me see the days here. 54 days. Okay, 54 days. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Okay. Did I do that right? Let's see. Let me do that again. Where'd my measuring tool go? Right here, sorry. So coming off of here, bringing it down right here. So it's saying 68 days, which that's pretty crazy. So I was up a few $1,000s on AMD, and I bought the 160 calls and they went worthless. Okay. And what I start to notice with AMD is every time it rallies to the 618, it's being rejected. So we started off here, 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, and now we actually have the 4th rejection come off of this high to low right here. Okay, so we have this 618 right above. So I'm not trading this name until I can see some strength. And right now, just blacklisted. Apple. Apple was actually the best example of a recent 618 that blew through the roof on the 20th of December. We went live on Friday and we talked about this 246.54. We tagged that and then we just ripped in the same day. That's rare to see 618 and a rip in the same day, but Apple is one of those stocks that can do crazy things like that. Unfortunately for me, I didn't capitalize fully on this position because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I use Samsung, but my mind just doesn't focus on Apple. And it's pretty stupid, honestly, because the setup is a setup. It doesn't matter what you're trading. And I missed this one. Wasn't able to capitalize, but this was one we talked about live on stream. And a lot of members caught this one. A lot of people love to trade Apple. And that's going to be a improvement point for myself next year is you got to really just break the mental barriers in this game. You know, it's all mental, you know, and it's all emotional. So even sometimes for me, gets in the way. Okay. Netflix tagged the 618. This was on the 18th of December. We held it on the 20th. So this is a current 618 setup. You know, ultimate target, we're looking at 1,000, right? If these can hold, slow grind up. SMCI, haven't really done much with this name. I have a 618 drawn up here around $29, waiting to see what happens there. And that's pretty much it. The other ones I just have here on my watch list. I don't trade too heavily. So guys, thank you so much for coming out. Make sure you're subscribed and like. I hope this adds value to you. One thing I want to mention is go to my website, tradingwars.com. You click on the resources page and you'll find 5 day trading university lessons completely free. You don't even need to put your email in, and it has examples, resources, broker statements, videos, different things for you to watch. Go through these 5 lessons. I really tried my best to put something together for you that can help you. Educational series, the videos, the guides, the Fibonacci checklist. You guys can download this. It'll summarize what I basically said in this video. And then the 100 trade journal, as well as if you need a hookup on Trendspider, I have discount codes and Tradingview and brokers, interactive brokers, and my scanners are all here. Okay. I'd love to see you in the Discord tomorrow. If you want to join the $100 deal, once again, click on stock options trading. You can purchase right here. It's $100. Normally comes with 1 month. I'll upgrade you guys to lifetime. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this deal going into 2025. But if you would love to, I would love for you to be a part of the team, and we'll be live at the open. And again, I will be looking for that potential short if we have that confirmation candle. And I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Let's go ahead and do the lifetime Discord winner. Let me see if I missed anything. No, so let's do some chart requests and let's do the lifetime Discord winner. Okay, so go ahead and put your chart request in the chat. We'll go through a few names, and I'll drop some fibs for you guys. And I'm going to be honest with you guys on what I trade and what I don't trade. Okay, so if there's something that I don't trade, I can draw it up for you guys just to show you guys how I would draw the fibs for education. But I'm not going to take positions or I'm not going to tell you I'm in a position if I'm not. Okay, so let's go ahead here. And what we'll do is this. So I want you guys to go ahead and in the chat, if you're here and you want to be a part of the lifetime Discord giveaway, just post right now in the chat a chart request. Anything you want. Put any ticker in the chat, and then I'll put you up. You'll be a part of the draw here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick somebody randomly. And we'll go from there. But just throw out some names here. We're going to pick a few. I won't be able to answer all of them. I'll give priority to my army members right here. So Alpha with MU. Let's see what you got, brother. MU, what happened to this bad boy? Okay, so anytime I see a gap like that, we're going to zoom out to the weekly chart here. Okay, so okay, so MU. So let's do some rough drafting here. So this was back in 2020, and then we had this low in 2022 coming off of this low to high right here. Boom. Let's go ahead and put on the full Fibonacci extensions, and then we can see right here. So we had that 618 pullback to 786 extension. And what we have right now is actually we have this big picture dragon pattern here, right? Like this, coming off of this low, high, pullback, new high, bang. So that right around $80 is that little sweet spot. I don't have any positions in MU, but you know, it's not a bad chart at all, actually. So that's something that I'll be taking a look at. $80, that little sweet spot here with that 618. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. And thank you for sharing. Johnny, what's going on, my brother? Uber. And if you guys like me coming out on Thursdays, it's a little bit hard for me because I gotta, you know, I'm doing trading and then Discord all day. And I usually just like to do this on the weekends, but we actually had a good turnout. So if you guys want to see more of me on Thursdays, right before the big Lotto Fridays, just drop a comment after this video and let me know. Okay, so let's go ahead here. And this is Uber. Okay, so Uber right here. We come off of this swing low. Okay, original swing low right here to high. See, look at this, guys. These are the type of things that you just can't make up with trading. I mean, look how beautiful this is. Perfect 618, 56, right around $56 into the 10% extension. 10% is a number that I use. It's not a Fibonacci, but I notice about 10% off of new highs. People are taking profits for whatever reason. And then we also have the short sellers stepping in. And we also had that inside bar confirmation on the weekly. So funny enough, this is also a dragon pattern. Boom, 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 boom. We're looking at right around that same level of 56, even with the 7, if you guys see that. I mean, that is impressive, you know, very impressive. Okay. Henok, what's going on? BAC, my brother. BAC. Bank of America. Okay. So 618 on the weekly right here. I think this one's already in play, coming off a low to high. See right there, boom, right holding that 618 right above it. So this is your little line in the sand, that low 42.78. This needs to hold for the continuation, maybe a little bit of consolidation, and then into a new high. If this gets taken out, I think we can retest deeper, and we could potentially pull back here, coming off of this low to high right here. We're looking at $40. Okay. I just did the ES Fernando. You can take a look at right after that. And Dr. D, let's do gold. And then I'll do one more. All right. So let's do gold. So let's go futures. Let's take a look at the futures market. Oop, that's the wrong one. It's it's GC. I used to trade gold back in the day. Right. Nice new all-time highs on gold here. Looks like we're hanging around a Fibonacci level coming off of this last swing low here. Let's actually take it back here to this one with this little gap here. Low to high, 50% retracement. So potentially here for that 618 right there. Okay. So we're going to do one more and then I got to wrap it up. Okay, guys. So let's go back to the top here. So let's do this one. So I talked about SPY already through futures. Let's look at this PLTR on the daily. Let's look at this. Okay. So this is a very interesting one right here because I can tell you from looking at this chart that we definitely had a Fibonacci trade here. Let's come off of this low. Let's draw this up. Low to high. Right there, guys. So there's a lot of Fibonacci's on this one. So if coming off of this low, 68.07, let's go ahead and do that. And then let's go to the high here. 77.82. We're going to put on the basic. So there's your basic 618 pullback right there. Okay, hit me with a 2 if you guys see that. So we have our low, high, basic 618 pullback. And then we held this level multiple times and then we ripped. So the next Fibonacci in the sequence here, if you wanted to complete the harmonic, we would use this same swing low and we'd come up to the swing high right here. So that's a pretty steep drop on PLTR, but that 75 area, that's a potential area that I'd be looking at. Okay, so 75-ish, all right? But I showed you guys the positions I have. Some of these names here, I don't trade. These ones that you guys requested, but I just wanted to just show you that you can draw fibs on anything. Really, at the end of the day, as long as you have good volume on it, you can trade fibs and draw fibs on the chart. And always focus on those sweet spots, 618, 786. Those are really good size pullbacks, right? Those are decent pullbacks for you to get a good risk to reward on your options, or if you want to hold shares. Okay, so right here, guys, I have the winner. So this is actually the first request that I saw on my screen here. So 1 second here, guys. Let me pull it up here. So gotta scroll up. Okay. So right here, Jay Lopez, PLTR. So Jay Lopez, thank you for coming out. Thank you everyone for coming out. All right. And I want to do 100 lifetime Discord giveaways coming up in the next year. Okay. Year, 2 years, however long it takes. So please do not feel like you missed out. I love when you guys come. I try to give you my best plays and I try to show you exactly what I'm doing and teach you everything that I know. It's taken me a decade basically to learn all this. And please don't feel discouraged if you don't win. Jay Lopez, you're the winner. We're going to do more lifetime Discord giveaways. And if you guys want to enter the next one, it's going to be on Sunday. Please comment Fib King when I end the broadcast. You guys can comment Fib King below. Let's congratulate Jay Lopez with a TW Army Spy VIP. Jay, you send me an email, rich@tradingwars.com, and we will verify you. Make sure that it was you, and we'll get you set up, okay? Thank you, guys. And don't forget, right, the short that I talked about, I'm going to be watching it right at 9:30 a.m. And if I see that candlestick confirmation, I'm going to be looking for that opportunity because, you know, don't forget, right? I know I'm a lot of calls right now. Everything's looking good, but don't forget, guys, this candle right here, this was the death trap not too long ago. This was the FOMC drop. So we really need to be cautious in this area and see what can happen. So I'm going to be looking to see if we get some kind of trap, outside bar, whatever, some type of candlestick confirmation here for potential short setup to protect some of these longs. Thank you so much for your time. Drop a like, subscribe, comment. Hey, David, man, good to see you, brother. Just you can watch the replay right after this. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.